Hey, what's happening, everybody? We're just gonna kind of go through some things here. Let's take a simple progression, okay? Like 1-4-5, and 1-4-5 meaning in, let's say, you guessed it, in A, right? A major. Right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're just using 1, 4, 5. We're going to do 7 chords for the 1, the 4, and the 5. So I'm going to do an A7. Now it's a little bit different than the A major. I'm just basically taking off the 4th finger here, right? And why do they call it a 7 chord? Well, they're actually doing a flat 7 because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the A major scale. So we're doing a half a step lower than the major 7. Okay, so we're just adding that. It's like the Creedence Clearwater interval, right? Has that kind of sound. Now let's go to the D, and we're going to take, let's say, a D major chord, and then we're going to take we're going to do this. All right, so back to the right, and then we'll go up to the 5 E and make that a 7. All right, so we have the 1, the 4, and the 5. So for, like, you know, a couple measures, we'll do this one. And then we'll do and then maybe, and then go back to the 1 again, right? So when we're doing that, let's say we're playing a solo, what we're going to do is we're going to use, for the first one, the A, we're going to use A mixolydian. So we're going to use this shape. Now, why are we using mixolydian? Because in A major scale, we have that major 7. In mixolydian, we have that same major scale, but we have this tonality, right? So when that chord's going on, have them notes in that pattern throughout, going up this way, right? Then when we go to the D, and when that chord's playing, we're going to do D mixolydian up here. Right? So we're in that shape. And then for the E, when when the E's playing, we'll go up to E mixolydian. And then the D, we'll do D mixolydian. And then back to the A. All right. So we have the A7, A mixolydian, D7, D mixolydian, right? And then the E7, E mixolydian. Now, let's just say we're doing the same solo in the same progression. Now, you can spice up those chords and do like, you know, 13s and 9 chords, and we'll get into that stuff later. But let's just say we're doing that same progression, and we don't want to necessarily go like here, and then jump up here for the D, and then jump up way up here for the E. We just kind of want to stay right there. So let's do that. Let's stay right here. And how are we going to do that? How are the modes going to relate? What's going to allow me to stay in that position? Now, there's 3 different keys, right? Because for every 7 chord, staying true to each mixolydian in each position. So now, we're going to still do mixolydian for the A7 in this position, right? And then for the D7, we're going to change it. We're going to do this pattern. We're going to do a Dorian. Now you'll see mixolydian in here, but it's starting on that A string, right? The Dorian position, okay, A Dorian is relative to D mixolydian. They're in the same key. So when I go with the A7, it's easy because I'm right here, right? And then now I'm in A Dorian. And then maybe back to A mixolydian, right? Right, and then with the E, what we're going to do, staying in the same position, is we're going to play that A major scale. So I'm going to do so you can kind of hear it. A Dorian for the D7. And then you know, for the A7, A mixolydian. And it's cool, you know, when you're improvising or you're just kind of doing that kind of change. Then you're just staying in that one position. So like if I'm soloing in my mind, let's say I'm thinking about it and I'm like, okay. like imagine the rhythm happening behind you, and A Mixolydian, A Dorian, back to A Mixolydian, A major, right? And then A Dorian, which is G major too, so you could really just blow through two major scales there. And then go back to your A Mixolydian. Now, there's a couple short form scales too that I kind of came up with my own fingerings, but you just kind of do this. All right, for the, and you can do that for all the Mixolydians. So it's for the Mixolydian position. And then your Dorian, you can do your A pentatonic too, right? Because they're there. The same notes, right? And then when you go to the major position, A major, and then maybe to A Dorian for that D7, right? So E7, A major, and then A Dorian here, or G major, and back to your A Mixolydian.